Over the course of my career, I've made quite a lot of music, but if you look at my channel, it's not very populated. That's mostly because many of the tracks I've made were for projects that are either cancelled, upcoming, or otherwise incomplete. Fair warning, most of the stuff's gonna be F and F, and a lot of it's gonna be bad. If you just want to hear my competent work, skip to like halfway through. I'll try to get all the garbo out of the way as soon as I can.
And sorry about my voice in this one, I'm just a little bit sick right now.
That being said, here is Amalgamate, a Somari song from some of my earliest days. So, terrible, right? I think it was cool that I went for the Sonic Spinball motif, but nothing I did really worked well. But hey, I made it with basically zero understanding of how FL Studio works, and I only used 2 tracks for the whole thing. It's pretty impressive that it doesn't sound like a complete disaster. Now, this song was originally for a Sonic mod called Rhythm of the Rings or something, and wasn't very pleasant to work on. I hope the rest of the team ended up improving like I did. Might look into it someday. Anyways, on to the next song, Zip Bomb. A song following the nightmare trend that stemmed from Indie Cross, but with Ron. And yeah, it just kind of ends there. I had the ideas, but I just couldn't get it to sound right and gave up. The first bit went so crazy, though. Anyways, the idea for this was basically that Ron, instead of his head being a meme folder, it was the zip folder for the Indie Cross mod. And he would unzip each nightmare character and kind of mimic them in a section styled after their original song, but I wasn't skilled enough to pull it off. It's a cool concept, and I might reuse some of the musical ideas, but I likely won't be bringing back Nightmare Ron himself anytime soon. Next up, Audit Log, a weird Bambi song between the release of Geriatric Jumble V1 and development of V2. Yeah, I don't really like this one. It sounds okay and all, but it's just not the kind of thing I want to have my name on. I don't really have as much trivia with this one as the others, because I made it largely without direction, as the director of this mod did not communicate very well. I'm still on the team for the mod. It's not canceled or anything, but it's kind of dead. I think it was some kind of Dave and Bambi Undertale crossover mod. I don't know. I forgot. Anyways, it's now time for a very special section, the Madness Mayhem bonus round. That's right. Here comes a large collection of songs from a Madness mod I worked on. I made a lot of songs for this thing, so get ready. I have one thing to say about this one. Ew. We never made a chromatic for the janitor, hence the piano placeholder. Not like having a chromatic would save this mediocre-ass song. Too repetitive, and I didn't pull off any of my ideas well at all. And that god-awful sounding guitar. Ugh. Now onto another actually good song. Bargain. The hot dog guy song. Madness guy. really like how this one came out. The whole idea behind this one is that I was trying to make a song without fixed turns, and I think I did that pretty well. And the build-ups are actually kind of effective in my opinion. And yeah, I know the Madness Combat janitor and hot dog vendor are technically the same character, I think, but the director of the mod and I thought it was funny, or something, I don't remember. Next song, Double Barrel, a song with Sanford and Deimos, featuring a stolen GF chromatic. Another swing and another miss. I remember really struggling to make this song because I just had no ideas. I was just BSing my way through the whole thing. Kinda shows. No memorable or catchy melodies, just F&F slop. Not really anything else to say about it. BOGO V1, a song that was a Sanford and Deimos song in its state. More on that later. Now that's some of my better work. Most parts of it are pretty catchy, I think, and even managed to make it decently long without the grating repetition of my other longer songs. Now for the promised details. BOGO has been remade. Now it's for another character, and was remixed from the ground up by me, and help from several other musicians whom I do not remember, and whom I would be unable to contact even if I did remember who they were. And with mention of BOGO V2, which shall henceforth be called Bug Bite, here it is. Along with the reveal that the song is now OC related, before my OC title will be on screen shortly. Also, henceforth, songs featured are not scraps and will appear in future projects and my channel as of writing this video. And I think I'll cut it there. It is only a teaser after all. But yeah, the song goes so hard, and it's gonna be in a mod that, I don't think it's been officially announced yet. But the next teaser is also for the same mod. The next teaser being very scary. I'm not gonna tell you what this one's about. I wanna see what people come up with based on the name and sound alone. Again, cutting it short because it's a teaser. Have fun with that little snippet. Not a lot to say about it. Now, for the reveal I'm most excited for. A fully original lyrical song. I haven't actually recorded any of the lyrics yet, but I've got a good amount written out. It's gonna be a pretty edgy song that isn't necessarily based on my own feelings or experiences. It's gonna be from my OC Rita's perspective, the one I use as my avatar. But yeah, that's all I've got for now. See ya in like 4 years when any of my next projects actually release. Bye!